Hello world, my name is Cody Weber and I am the creator of Tech LLC. So I was browsing around on YouTube and I came across a tech commenter. I believe the commenting show is called the Lunduke Show. And one of his videos was talking about technology as a religion. Now, his point was that there are people nowadays that say that whenever you question things like HTTPS and Hibernate framework and the cloud technology, like that you must use AWS. You cannot use anything other than AWS. That if you question those, they go bananas. Oh my gosh. How dare you question that? Who do you think you are? Right? And so the point that he was saying is that it's infallible, right? Technology is infallible. How dare you question it? These type of technologies. And I agree with him. I see both points because as a religious person and a technological person, I see both sides of what he's saying. But I also think that it kind of sucks because obviously that he's gotten an impression of religion. That's what religious people are people that are just infallible. They don't question things. And if something is questioned, all they do is go bananas. Which I don't think is true. As a Christian myself, so society is changing, right? 50 years ago, Christianity was pretty widespread, normal part of life, a part of society, right? I think almost everybody can agree on that, okay? And if they don't agree, they never took a history course at all, or listened to their grandparents at all. Or their grandparents were like the rebels that hated it. I don't know. So from my own personal experience, I think my main two infallible points of Christianity that probably I'm rock hard, die hard for, that might be maybe a little bit too much rock hard, die hard for, is God is good, and God is trying to tell us truth through the Bible. Like, the Bible is truth. Kind of like science. What science does is it's using empirical evidences and creating a hypothesis and trying to get to truth. Okay? I think it's the exact same way. I think they're both flip sides of the same coin. That the Bible is literally trying to tell us historical facts of what happened in the past and why it all makes sense. Complete sense. Okay? And I love it, right? I love science and the Bible and just taking them and reading both and just figuring out how things happened, right? I'm just trying to figure out the truth of things and trying to glean whatever I can out of all that. And I love it, all right? But I guess I don't see where, maybe in the past infallibility might have occurred, and I guess he's a good amount older than me, so he probably has seen things in the past. But I guess nowadays with Christianity and in society, I don't see that infallibility, right? Like, there are a lot of things that are changing that are not the way that a Christian would like it. And there's a lot of things that are very rude to Christians. Actually, Christianity is getting the butt end of a lot of different things. I mean, from homosexual marriages to a lot of the different groups, the extremist groups that like make fun of Christianity or twist Christianity to suit their own needs, like to a demented point. For example, right? Like, I watched a video where this lady had a card, and what she put on the card was Jesus Christ, but it was Jesus Christ's head on a topless woman in underwear menstruating. Like, what the heck is that, right? Isn't that rude? Wouldn't that be considered like hate speech towards Christianity or something, right? Or you know, just anything, right? But guess what? You haven't seen the groups of Christians that are like running at them and like, you know, yelling at them and saying rah 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 rah, right? And that's the thing, right? Is that I don't think that the amazing thing about America and Christianity as well is that, well, the amazing thing about America is that it's innovative. It changes, right? There's lots of change. It's always figuring out like what's the right way to do things, what's the good way to do things, right? What's moral, right? And society is definitely changing, and I'm not sure if it's changing for the better. I would disagree with a lot of the changes, but it's changing, and we're going to see if it's good or not, right? So, but these changes, right? Christianity is not like beating down the doors and like killing people, murdering people, except for that one psycho Christian that like I've never heard of. Like, I've never heard of this psycho Christian. Now there's been Christians that have been not great in the past, sure, but any group, there have been people that have not great in the past. So that's nothing, right? So, but to say that Christianity is being infallible, I disagree with that, because obviously things are changing and Christianity is getting the butt end of a lot of things, and you know, we're not, you know, going bananas, right? We're not freaking out like that. So I guess I just don't see it. I don't see it at all. And I would love to talk to Mr. Lunduke and get his thoughts on, you know, technology and religion. Obviously has opinions about both. And, you know, I'd like to hear his, you know, his past and hear about what he has to say, and, you know, get some more stuff. Because, and to his point, I totally see what he's talking about with infallibility technology. Because as I started off this video with, you know, there are groups of people that say you cannot trust yourself to build something without a framework. You cannot trust yourself. You are not a good enough developer to build something without a framework. You are not a good enough developer to make sure that a simple application is secure. You are not a good enough developer to make sure that your application can scale. What the heck? What the heck? Do you hear yourself? Do you know what you were hired on to do? You're a developer, right? Developer, right? Like, what a developer is a problem solver. They figure things out. They find a flaw and they fix it. They do that kind of thing. That is their job, right? And to get it, to try to drill the whole thing into people's brains that they can't do something, I reject that. Seriously, I reject it. Because in my college classes, we weren't allowed to just weren't allowed to just pull in a framework and then have the framework do the work for us, right? We had to write our own security and our own stuff from scratch. Almost from scratch. Sometimes we were allowed to use certain libraries, right? We worked out fine. We wrote secure stuff, right? Our professors ripped us to shreds about everything that we got wrong, right? But we came out and we actually wrote pretty good programs, right? To tell a developer that they can't do that, it's to defeat their own purpose. To tell a developer that they can't be a problem solver is usurping who a developer is. You're taking away the power from the developer, right? You're making them feel like that they can't do something, that they are not able to think through a problem and to figure it out. So I reject that. Because I don't think it's that hard to write some simple regex to make your input validation secure. I don't think it's that hard to write some hashing, or not hashing, some salt and to use a hash and to put that together and store it in a database and to do all kinds of different security measures, right? I don't think it's that hard. But to go through the goal that they can't do it? No, it's wrong. There's top level developers that have finally came out and said, you know what? We wrote this new application, and guess what? We wrote it in vanilla JavaScript. Whoa, mind blowing. We actually wrote something without going through and using a framework. Because it's like paralysis by analysis. You have to learn all these frameworks, and you gotta keep up with the latest thing, and you gotta figure out how to get these cogs interconnected together to just barely do what most of the time is a simple app, a simple thing, right? Why do we have to take 5 or 6 different frameworks, kind of try to rear them together just to do something, right? Just do it yourself. Just write it yourself in vanilla JavaScript, vanilla Java, vanilla Go, right? That's the new big thing with Go. That's one of the big reasons why Go is succeeding, is because they're saying write it with the vanilla Go. Don't just grab everything from libraries and other things like that. The core Go has a lot of the tools that you need to get a lot of really complex stuff done. So, yeah. Alright, to get off my rant a little bit, to summarize, I totally see what he's saying about technology being infallible, and I totally agree. And I can't wait till we see more of this challenging of this, because everything should be able to be challenged, right? Everything. Every piece of textbook, everything that somebody says that has to be a certain way, you should be able to challenge that, right? Not to be mean, not to be rude whenever you challenge it, but just to genuinely challenge it, because we don't have a ton of time as developers. And if we're just spending all our time trying to figure out the frameworks and we never actually get anything done, well, guess what? A lot of simple apps are better done than never done with 20 frameworks. That's the end. So, hope you guys liked the video. It's a bit of a rant for me, but I hope you guys enjoyed some of the content, and God bless. Take care.